Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Dakota. AbbVie just filed a Form 8K announcing a major acquisition, and I am seeing a few key details that tell a bigger story. Quick note, this is not financial advice, just my take on public filings for educational purposes. This latest filing is all about AbbVie buying another drug company called Apogee Therapeutics, and understanding the terms is crucial for investors. So what is happening here is that AbbVie, a big name in the healthcare world, is making a move to buy Apogee Therapeutics. Think of it like one big company swallowing another to get its products and research. This is pretty common in the pharmaceutical industry as companies try to grow their drug pipelines and make sure they have new treatments for the future. The filing states that on the 22nd of June 2026, AbbVie and Apogee announced they have a definitive agreement. This means they have worked out the basic terms and have officially decided to do the deal. This is a really important step because it moves them closer to actually combining their businesses. The filing also mentions that AbbVie will be acquiring Apogee on the terms and subject to the conditions set forth therein, which is pretty standard legal talk for saying there are still some final hurdles to clear before the deal is completely done. Now they also mention their common stock. This is basically the regular shares of AbbVie that you can buy and sell on the stock market. It is important context because when a big company like AbbVie makes an acquisition like this, it often involves either using their own stock as currency or having a significant impact on the value of their shares. We see that their common stock is traded on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol AbbVV. This section lists the different types of securities AbbVie has registered. It includes their common stock and various senior notes. Senior notes are basically loans that AbbVie has taken out from investors. There are notes due in 2027, 2028, and 2029 with different interest rates. This shows us AbbVie has a mix of financing and debt, which is typical for large corporations. The fact that they have so many different debt issuances listed here shows their scale and how they fund their operations and growth initiatives, like this acquisition. This part of the filing is about how they are communicating this news. Regulation FD simply means that when a company releases important information, it has to make sure everyone has access to it at the same time. This prevents insider trading. So by filing this Form 8K, they are making sure all investors, both big and small, get the same news at once. They have attached a press release announcing the deal and an investor presentation which gives more details about the acquisition. This is the heart of the news. AbbVie is buying Apogee. The press release is going to tell us why they are doing this, what they expect to gain, and likely some of the financial terms of the deal, though the full details might be in other exhibits. Acquisitions like these are a big strategy play. Companies buy others to get new drugs, new technology, or to eliminate a competitor. For Apogee, this likely means a big payday for its shareholders, and a chance for its drugs to reach a much larger market. This is a legal disclaimer. It basically means that this particular section of the filing is for informational purposes, and is not considered a formal filing that could lead to legal liability if it were inaccurate under certain securities laws. Companies use these disclaimers to protect themselves while still sharing important news. It is like saying the announcement is out there, but we are not making a legally binding promise based on the news itself in this specific format. This section is super important for anyone looking at the future of these companies. Forward-looking statements are essentially educated guesses about what might happen in the future. They talk about things like market prospects, future results, and the expected benefits of the acquisition. However, they come with a big warning. The company is telling you that these are not guarantees. The actual results could be very different because of unexpected risks and uncertainties. This is one of the main reasons why AbbVie is likely buying Apogee. Zumilokibart APG 777 sounds like a promising new drug candidate. Pipeline assets are the drugs and treatments that a company is developing but have not yet brought to market. By acquiring Apogee, AbbVie gains access to these potential future blockbusters. This is how big pharma companies stay competitive. They constantly invest in research and development, and sometimes buy smaller companies that have promising breakthroughs. This is a critical risk they are highlighting. When a major acquisition is announced, it can create a lot of uncertainty. The stock prices of both companies can go up or down significantly depending on how investors perceive the deal. There is also the risk that the integration of the two companies won't go smoothly. If the combined company struggles to operate efficiently, or if the expected benefits don't materialize, then the stock price and overall financial health could suffer. This is a big concern for any investor watching this deal unfold, and it's a key reason why you always have to watch the stock movement after such announcements. This hints at the possibility of legal challenges or regulatory scrutiny. Big acquisitions often face reviews by government bodies to ensure they don't create monopolies or harm competition. There can also be lawsuits from shareholders who believe the deal terms are unfair. All of these potential legal and regulatory hurdles add a layer of complexity and risk to the acquisition process. This is a very specific and important risk in the pharmaceutical world. Intellectual property or IP refers to patents that protect a company's drug formulas and discoveries. If Apogee's patents are challenged or if their new drugs don't get patent protection, then AbbVie's investment could be significantly less valuable. This is a constant battle in the drug industry and a major factor in the success of any drug acquisition. This is a broad category of risks that covers pretty much any major unpredictable event that could disrupt business operations. Think about things like natural disasters or global health crises. These events can cause significant disruptions to supply chains, manufacturing, and sales. In the pharmaceutical industry, a pandemic, for instance, could impact clinical trials or the ability to distribute medicines. AbbVie is acknowledging that they can't control these external factors, but they can impact the success of this acquisition. This section just tells us what other documents are attached to this filing. In this case, it lists two main exhibits. Exhibit 99.1 is the press release announcing the deal, and Exhibit 99.2 is the investor presentation, which likely provides much more detail on the strategic rationale and financial projections for this acquisition. These are the documents where most of the meat of the deal's specifics will be found. This exhibit is the actual press release from the 22nd of June 2026 that announced the agreement between AbbVie and Apogee. Press releases are often the first official announcements of major corporate news, and they usually highlight the positive aspects of a deal while also including some cautionary language about forward-looking statements. It is the company's way of speaking directly to the market about their intentions and their vision for the future. This exhibit is the investor presentation. This is typically a slide deck used by management to explain the deal to investors, analysts, and potentially employees. It would likely contain charts, graphs, and key data points that illustrate the financial benefits and strategic advantages of acquiring Apogee. This is where you would go to see the projections for how this deal is expected to impact AbbVie's earnings and its portfolio of drugs. It's designed to make the deal look as attractive as possible to shareholders. This is the signature section. It shows that the report has been officially signed off by a duly authorized representative of AbbVie. In this case, it is Scott T. Rientz, the Executive Vice President and Chief Financial Officer. This signature indicates that the company acknowledges the accuracy and completeness of the information contained in the filing. It is a formal sign of responsibility for the reported data. Looking at this filing, the main story is clearly AbbVie acquiring Apogee Therapeutics. This is a significant move for AbbVie aiming to bolster its drug pipeline with Apogee's promising assets like zumilokibart. The filing highlights the usual forward-looking statements and risks associated with such a large transaction, including intellectual property challenges and potential regulatory hurdles. What I will be watching closely are the details in the investor presentation, Exhibit 99.2, to see the financial impact projections and the actual integration plan for Apogee. The success of this deal hinges on whether AbbVie can effectively leverage Apogee's pipeline and overcome the inherent risks of such a large acquisition. The real test will be seen in how AbbVie's stock performs and how quickly they can realize the benefits of this new addition to their portfolio. And the research tools I actually use are linked in the description. They help keep this channel going. That is my take. Stay decoded. For more deep dives like this, smash that like button, subscribe, and join our Discord community linked below.